Understanding sleep and some ways to improve it. This video is part of a series of videos exploring ways of looking after our mental health and well-being. This session will focus on understanding sleep and finding out some ways you can improve your sleep. If you have any questions about this session, you can contact us using the details on screen now. This session is funded by the Scottish Borders Joint Health Improvement Team programme, United to Prevent Suicide. The aim of this information session is to provide a brief introduction to sleep. By the end of this video, we hope that you will understand what sleep is, why we do it, and what can affect it. Here are some common myths about sleep and the truths behind these. Learn some ways you can improve your sleep. Please remember, this is an information session. If you have concerns about your sleep and are worried about this, please contact your GP. Mental health is a sensitive subject. Please be kind to yourself. For details of where you can access help now, you can view our website, wellbeingcollege.org.uk/resources/need help now. What makes us sleep? Within the body, there are two biological processes which are responsible for making us sleep. These are circadian rhythms, which are often referred to as our body clock, and sleep homeostasis, which is more often known as sleep pressure. When people talk about circadian rhythm, it's most often in the context of sleep. Circadian rhythms are 24-hour cycles that are part of the body's internal clock, running in the background to carry out essential functions and processes. The sleep-wake cycle is a most clear example of the importance of circadian rhythms. When properly aligned, a circadian rhythm can promote consistent and restorative sleep. During the day, light exposure causes the master clock in our bodies to send signals that generate alertness and help keep us awake and active. As night falls, the master clock initiates the production of melatonin, a hormone that promotes sleep, and then keeps transmitting signals that help us stay asleep through the night. In this way, our circadian rhythm aligns our sleep and wakefulness with day and night to create a stable cycle of restorative rest that enables increased daytime activity. Sleep pressure, also known as sleep homeostasis, can be thought of as the brain's pressure and need for sleep, becoming greater with increasing amounts of time spent awake. In this way, the pressure to sleep is directly related to the amount of time that we have been awake. For example, when we wake up in the morning after a good night's sleep, we will have a very low sleep pressure or need to sleep. As we continue throughout the day, sleep pressure will begin to accumulate, a bit like an hourglass egg timer. At the end of a full day at bedtime, we will have a great amount of pressure to sleep. By going to bed and having another good night's sleep, then sleep pressure will be reset for the start of the next day. Now that we understand some of the mechanisms behind our ability to sleep, we can consider some of the theories that exist which try to explain our body's need for sleep. It is recognised that as humans, we tend to spend about 1/3 of our lives sleeping, and we need sleep just like food and water to survive. We need to sleep to conserve energy. The energy conservation theory of sleep suggests that a main purpose of sleep is to reduce a person's energy use during times of the day and night when it would have been in the past inconvenient and less efficient to hunt for food. There is some evidence to suggest that this might be the case as our metabolic rate does decrease whilst we sleep. We need sleep to restore ourselves. The restorative theory says that sleep allows cells to repair and regrow whilst our body is otherwise inactive. Another theory suggests that we need sleep in order to aid our brain functions. The brain plasticity theory says sleep is required for brain function. When you sleep, waste is cleared from the central nervous system, including the removal of toxins which build up throughout the day. So this means when you wake up, your brain works better. Research suggests that sleep contributes to memory function by converting short-term memories into long-term memories, as well as by erasing or forgetting unneeded information that might otherwise clutter the nervous system. To look after our emotional health. During sleep, brain activity increases in areas that regulate emotion, thereby supporting healthy brain function and emotion. One example of how sleep can help regulate emotion occurs in the amygdala. This part of the brain, located in the temporal lobe, is in charge of the fear response. It's what controls your reaction when you face an imagined threat, like a stressful situation. When you get enough sleep, the amygdala can respond in a more adaptive way. But if you're sleep deprived, the amygdala is more likely to overreact. Maintaining a healthy weight. Sleep can have an impact on our weight as it can affect the hormones which control hunger. These hormones include ghrelin, which increases appetite, and leptin, which increases the feeling of being full after eating. During sleep, ghrelin decreases because you're using less energy than when you're awake. Lack of sleep, however, elevates ghrelin and suppresses leptin. This imbalance can make you hungrier, which may increase the risk of eating more calories and gaining weight. Keeping our immune system working well. When we sleep, our body makes cytokines, which are proteins that fight infection and inflammation. It also produces certain antibodies and immune cells. Together, these molecules prevent sickness by destroying harmful germs. Now that we've spoken a little bit about the different needs that our bodies have for sleep, we can begin to explore the different types of sleep we can experience. It's suggested that most adults tend to sleep between 5 and 11 hours per night. Sleep occurs in a recurring cycle of around 90 to 110 minutes and is divided into two categories: non-REM and REM sleep. We tend to cycle through these 4 to 5 times per night. The first type of sleep we will explore is non-REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement. Within non-REM sleep, there are 4 stages which we go through. Light sleep. During the first stage of sleep, we tend to be half awake and half asleep. Our muscle activity slows down, and we might display slight twitching. We can be wakened easily during this stage. True sleep. Within 10 minutes of light sleep, we enter stage 2, which lasts around 20 minutes. The breathing pattern and heart rate start to slow down. This period accounts for the largest part of human sleep. Deep sleep. During stage 3, the brain begins to produce delta waves, a type of wave that is large, high amplitude, and slow, low frequency. Breathing and heart rate are at their lowest levels. Stage 4 is characterized by rhythmic breathing and limited muscle activity. If we are awakened during deep sleep, we do not adjust immediately and often feel groggy and disorientated for several minutes after waking up. The second type of sleep we can look at is REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. The first rapid eye movement period usually begins about 70 to 90 minutes after we fall asleep. We have around 3 to 5 REM episodes a night. Although we are not conscious, the brain is very active, often more so than when we are awake. This is the period when most dreams occur. Our eyes dart around, hence the name, our breathing rate and blood pressure rise. However, our bodies are effectively paralysed, which is said to be nature's way of preventing us from acting out our dreams. After REM sleep ends, the whole cycle begins again. Now that we have understood some of the biological mechanisms behind sleep, some reasons as to why our bodies need sleep, and the types of sleep we can experience, we will move on to highlighting some of the things that can affect our ability to sleep. As you can see from the slide, there are a number of things which can affect our sleep. Some of these might happen often, and others we might never experience. But it's important to remember that if you do experience these challenges, there are ways we can reduce the impact these things have on our sleep. We will explore some of these tips later on. Some myths about sleep. Sleep is something we hear about a lot and is often one of the first things we comment on when we wake up. Over the next few slides, we will explore some of the common myths about sleep. There's no magic number for sleep. Everyone's requirements are different. Some of us cope far better on less than others. Try to gauge what you need by how you feel the next day, but regularly getting less than 6 hours a night is not ideal. Research has found that not sleeping enough can increase our fight or flight response to stress, releasing hormones that speed up heart rate and raise blood pressure, which can leave us feeling anxious and tense. Napping is not generally encouraged, as it does have an effect on nighttime sleep. So it is recommended that you try to avoid napping after 4 p.m. to limit any impact on your nighttime sleep. However, if you haven't slept well, a planned daytime nap can improve alertness without necessarily affecting nocturnal sleep. In fact, naps can give you as much energy as 2 cups of strong coffee, but the effects are longer lasting. 20 minutes is sufficient to turn off the nervous system and recharge the whole body. More than 30 minutes, though, is long enough to put you in a deep sleep and leave you feeling groggy when you wake. If you find yourself needing to nap regularly, it might be worthwhile speaking to your GP about your sleep habits. While drinking alcohol may make you tired and cut the time it takes to first nod off, in reality, it only leads to fragmented sleep, robs us of one of our most satisfying types of sleep, where dreams occur, and often wakes us up during the night. If you do have a drink before you go to bed, try to have your drink early enough so you can leave an hour and a half to 2 hours before going to bed, so the alcohol is already wearing off. From a brain and body perspective, our bodies are made to sleep at night. This is why we don't have adaptations like night vision and an enhanced sense of smell and hearing like nocturnal animals do. As we age, we often experience normal changes in our sleeping patterns, such as becoming sleepy earlier, waking up earlier, or experiencing less deep sleep. As you age, your body produces lower levels of growth hormone, so you'll likely experience a decrease in deep sleep. When this happens, you produce less melatonin, meaning you'll often experience more fragmented sleep and wake up more often during the day. That's why many of us consider ourselves light sleepers as we age. Long lie-ins can lead to later nights, which when combined can disrupt your body clock and make it harder to sleep during the week. Although the reasons why we might be struggling with our sleep might vary significantly, there are a number of simple ways that we can try to improve the quality and amount of sleep we get. When it's time for bed, try to make your room completely dark or as dark as you can. This can be achieved with a blackout blind or curtains, an additional window dressing like a sheet or blanket, or even an eye mask. Although it might not feel desirable, try to keep your room cool. Maintaining around 16 to 18 degrees C, 60 to 65 F in your bedroom is likely to help you sleep more soundly. Try to keep your bedroom as tidy as you can. Even just relocating the laundry basket, stacking up some books, or tidying up your bedside table can make a real difference. Reduce the intensity of artificial light in your home by using dimmer switches or low wattage bulbs. You can also use the night mode settings on electronic devices, which reduce the amount of blue light you take in during the evening. If you can, try to maintain a regular bedtime routine and sleep pattern. Remember, your sleep routine starts before you actually get into bed. So build in time every evening to wind down and try to switch off from your tech. Things like reading, gentle stretches, or meditation are a good way to unwind. And keeping charges for your devices out of the bedroom can help you avoid absent-minded scrolling. Use a hot water bottle if you get cold. Try not to adjust the heating, as an increased room temperature is likely to waken you. Avoid drinking alcohol or caffeine before bed where you can. Caffeine can stay in the bloodstream for up to 10 hours. So try to have decaffeinated drinks if you are prone to having a tea or coffee in the evening. In this day and age, it can be difficult to get into this habit, but try to switch off your tech a couple of hours before bedtime. Perhaps you can read instead. There's few things more annoying than needing the toilet in the middle of the night, so try to empty your bladder before bed and avoid consuming too many liquids before you sleep. You can make some small changes by considering your eating and drinking habits. For example, try to limit your caffeine and alcohol intake before you go to bed, ideally leaving at least 1.5 to 2 hours. Try to avoid eating close to your bedtime so as you can limit the amount of digestion your body is carrying out while asleep. If you're eating close to bedtime, foods which are rich in amino acid tryptophan are likely to promote sleep. These include turkey, chicken, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, peanuts, beans, and milk. When we feel anxious, our heart rate often increases and can lead to our brain racing. Alert brains produce beta waves, which mean our brains are too stimulated to sleep. Research has shown that there is a direct correlation between anxiety and rhythm of sleep. When a person is anxious, their heart rate increases, which causes the brain to race too. An alert mind produces beta waves, making you far too stimulated to sleep. To make matters worse, an active brain triggers other worries, so it's even harder to achieve sleep. There are several techniques to banish anxiety and calm your heart rate, and we will talk through these over the next few slides. The following is a tool you can use to bring your heart rate under control through the use of breathing. Place your hand on your heart and listen for the beating. Breathe in deeply for 4 seconds. Breathe out slowly. Repeat until you feel your heart rate slow. Practice the speaking technique. Speaking aloud overrides thinking, which can stop negative thoughts in their tracks. You can see this at play if you think the alphabet in your head. When you reach J, start speaking the letters aloud. You can use this technique when worrying thoughts start coming to you whilst in bed. Instead of thinking, the rent is due and I don't know how to pay it, say aloud, I will find a way to pay my rent this month. Try this technique to relax your body. Whilst laying in bed, tense a muscle, for example, your bicep, by contracting for 7 to 10 seconds. Flex it gently, do not strain. At the same time, visualize the muscle being tensed, consciously feeling the build-up of tension. Release the muscle abruptly and then relax, allowing the body to go limp. Take a few moments before moving on to the next muscle. Remember to keep the rest of your body relaxed while working on a particular muscle. The 20-minute rule. We should all go to bed when we're tired, but if you're not asleep after 20 minutes, it's often suggested that you get up and find another activity to do. You might choose to read a book, listen to music, or perhaps do some light stretching or yoga. Place value in your sleep. Recognize the benefits sleep can have on your day-to-day life. Make sleep part of your routine and prioritize it. Try not to let things be put ahead of your sleeping routine. Make your sleep personal and something you look forward to. Protect your sleep and let others know it's important to you. Perhaps you can let the people around you know that your phone gets switched off at 9 p.m. It's not always possible to resolve sleep by ourselves, and you may find that you need help from a doctor or a specialist sleep service. If you've been sleeping badly for a while, you can reach out to your GP to ask for some help and guidance. Here are some links to different resources on sleep which you might find useful. You can find these in the description below. This may be the end of the course, but hopefully not the end of our time with you. Please look at our website, www.wellbeingcollege.org.uk, where you can register for more of our courses. You can also contact us to request an appointment with a personal tutor to find out more about the college and perhaps develop a personal learning plan. If you're not already on our email list, please sign up to receive our newsletter so we can stay in touch. We'd also really love your feedback on this course, so please feel free to send us an email and tell us what you think. Thank you for watching. This session is funded by the Scottish Borders Joint Health Improvement Team programme, United to Prevent Suicide.